non-believers and have increased attacks against them in Iraq in recent months. Dozens of people are hurt after a Greyhound bus drove off an interstate highway in southwest Ohio early this morning. Marianne Zalesnik of member station WVXU in Cincinnati reports the bus struck a tree and a fence and flipped on its side before sliding to a stop in a cornfield.
The bus was headed northbound on I-75 when it overturned in Liberty Township around 4 o'clock this morning. Butler County Emergency Operations Center officials say 34 people are hurt, suffering from injuries ranging from minor to severe. They were transported to area hospitals, 6 by medical helicopters. 52 people were on the bus when it crashed. The bus was headed to Detroit. For NPR News, I'm Marianne Zalesnik in Cincinnati.
Hundreds of National Guard troops are searching mountainous terrain in Colorado for people trapped by flooding. At least 4 people died since the floods began Wednesday. Thousands of people have fled their homes. Some were rescued by boat or by helicopter. This is NPR News from Washington. Fighting intensified in the southern Philippines today between government troops and Muslim insurgents. The Army says at least 53 people have been killed in 6 days of fighting. At least 60,000 people have been forced from their homes. The Muslim rebels want more autonomy in the overwhelmingly Roman Catholic country. A complicated salvage operation is slated for Monday. NPR's Sylvia Pacholi reports hundreds of salvage engineers will try to lift upright the 114,000-ton Costa Concordia luxury liner.
The old nautical term for the operation is parbuckling. Over a 10 to 12-hour period, the ship, now slumped on its side on a sloping reef, will be slowly rotated as dozens of pulleys pull it upright. The big unknown is the condition of the side of the ship lying on the jagged reef, which juts into the hull by some 30 feet. But the engineers in charge are confident that the operation will be successful, so confident that there's no plan B. The option of breaking up the ship on site was discarded because the shipwreck lies in the Tuscan Marine Sanctuary, Europe's biggest, a haven for whales, dolphins, and the last surviving monk seals. Sylvia Poggioli, NPR News.
Japan launched a new rocket today. The 3-stage Epsilon blasted into space from a space center on the southern main island Kyushu after a 2-week postponement. Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency pronounced the liftoff a success. It was broadcast live on television. About an hour later, the rocket successfully placed into orbit a telescope designed to observe other planets. I'm Laura Rahm, NPR News in Washington.
Support for NPR comes from Esurance, with an app that lets users manage their car insurance policies, update payment info, and handle claims at esurance.com.
Whether you love classical music or new music or news, you'll find a place to connect with Colorado Public Radio online. You can get the latest tweets and Facebook updates about the programs you listen to most. It's an easy way to learn more about CPR News, CPR Classical Music, and Open Air. Join us on Facebook and Twitter. Just visit our website, cpr.org, and click on the Facebook and Twitter icons there in the top right corner of the homepage.
From NPR and WBEZ Chicago, this is Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, the NPR News Quiz. I'm Carl Castle, and here's your host at the Chase Bank Auditorium in downtown Chicago, Peter Sagal.
Thank you, Carl. We got a great one for you today. Later on, New York Times reporter Mark Leibovich will be by to talk about his new book about the Washington, D.C. media and political elite, and explain to us why we are not in it. But before we do that, just something as an old science fiction geek I am so excited about. This week, NASA announced that Voyager 1, the space probe, launched 35 years ago, became the first human artifact to reach interstellar space, which is very cool. And I don't know if you remember this, but it's carrying a gold phonograph record with music and greetings in many languages. So now that it's left our solar system, Voyager's mission is to search for an alien hip enough to still have a record player. It's programmed to look for a creature wearing like 8-legged skinny jeans, you know?
And a hoodie.
A hoodie, yeah. Well, whatever device you're using to hear this, give us a call. The number is 1-888-WAIT-WAIT. That's 1-888-924-8924. It's time to welcome our first caller. Hi, you're on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Janet Theo,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm calling from Torrington, Connecticut.
Oh, Torrington, okay. Where is that? In central Connecticut or you in the south? I'm trying to remember.
No, we're actually in the northwest corner.
Oh, you're up in beautiful Litchfield County.
I was just there 2 weeks ago in Torrington.
Were you?
Yeah, at a bed and breakfast.
And you didn't visit.
Okay, Janet, let's introduce you to our panel this week. First up, an author whose new book, out soon, is The Baby Boom, P.J. O'Rourke. Hi. Next, a contributor to CBS Sunday Morning and the host of Entertainment Weekly's afternoon show on Sirius XM, it's Faith Salie.
Hi, Janet.
And next, the correspondent for CBS Sunday Morning and the host of My Grandmother's Ravioli on the Cooking Channel. The new season premieres October 2nd. It's Mo Rocca. Welcome to the show, Janet. You're going to play Who's Carl this time. Carl Castle is going to read you 3 quotations from the week's news. If you can correctly identify or explain just 2 of them, you will win our prize, Carl's voice, on your home answering machine. Are you ready to play?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay. Here is your first quote.
Why is America going to war with Siri? She's just an iPhone app.
That's a good question. And she might be able to tell us where the chemical weapons are. So don't go to war with her. Now, that was a caller on the radio station Power 105.1 in New York City getting even more confused than the president when it comes to war with whom?
Syria.
Yes, of course, Syria. So the president goes on TV Tuesday night. He looks in the eyes of the nation, and he says, "My fellow Americans, I got nothing." Now, he was planning to argue for what Secretary of State John Kerry called a, quote, unbelievably small strike in Syria. It would be called Operation Irritating Gnat, and would be designed to provoke the Syrian military to say, "Did you hear something?"
Unbelievably, so he said it was going to be an unbelievably small attack, but then Barack Obama said, well, no, we don't do pinprick.
Yeah.
So what do we do? Do we do purple nurples? What do we do?
It's going to be an unbelievably small war. It's going to be like shock and awe.
I thought it was like a bad, Dirty Harry, like a really bad Dirty Harry movie. It's like Obama going, drop the gun. And the guy going, oh, well, what about if I gave the gun to a friend?
This is what happened. This is a solution that John Kerry stumbled into. He said, just off the cuff, if Syria wants to avoid a strike, they should hand over their chemical weapons immediately, but they're never going to do it. And Syria said, okay, fine, we'll do it. It turns out,
Only if Russia tells us to.
right. It turns out the only thing stronger than the threat of military force is the urge to annoy John Kerry.
And didn't he also, by the way, the idea, just as he stumbled, it was a reporter who asked,
Yeah.
I think. And then he said, oh, wow. I mean, it's almost like improv diplomacy.
It is. I need a Middle Eastern nation, a dictator, and a funny job. And anybody,
Don't say proctologist.
all right.
I think this could work, though, because basically he was making a sarcastic dare, right? So maybe
Well,
he
yeah.
could stumble into something else. Like a reporter says, what could North Korea do for us to lift the sanctions? And he could say, oh, I don't know, Kim Jong-un could give up the plutonium and take Dennis Rodman back and never return him. And then we all win.
Isn't it amazing, though, that John Kerry could pull something out of his butt and it wouldn't be a stick? Who knew? Okay, Janet, here is your next quote. Banzai! That was how several dignitaries reportedly greeted the news that what would be held in Tokyo in 2020?
The Olympics.
The Olympics, yes, very good. Yes. You got it. Big Olympic news this week, starting with the fact that the 2020 Games were awarded to Tokyo, the most crowded and expensive city in the world, which means we can look forward to new events like the 4-meter run in the javelin drop.